Have you ever wondered why some people seem to move forward effortlessly in life while others, despite having talent, effort, and opportunities, remain stuck in the same place? You work hard, you dream big, yet something seems to hold you back. What is it that silently stops us from achieving our goals, fulfilling our potential, and living a life we truly desire? Today, we are going to uncover the 5 enemies of progress, those hidden obstacles that quietly sabotage your growth, your dreams, and your future. By the end of this video, you'll not only recognize these enemies in your own life, but you'll also learn how to take actionable steps to overcome them and move forward fearlessly. Progress is not about luck, it is about awareness. The moment you identify what's holding you back, you take the first step toward freedom. Let's dive in. Fear is perhaps the oldest and most universal enemy of progress. From the moment we are born, fear whispers to us. At first, it protects as a baby recoils from a hot stove. A child hesitates at the edge of the stairs. But as we grow, fear evolves. It no longer warns us about immediate danger. It begins to govern our choices, shape our thoughts, and limit our actions. Fear manifests in many forms. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of rejection, even fear of success. Yes, fear of success exists because stepping into a higher version of ourselves feels uncomfortable, unfamiliar, and risky. Fear keeps us small. It convinces us that safety is more important than growth, that comfort is preferable to challenge. And the subtle tragedy is that while we are busy fearing what might happen, life is passing us by. Imagine someone who dreams of starting a business. The idea excites them, but fear creeps in. What if I fail? They ask themselves, what if people laugh at me? That fear, while invisible, has the power to paralyze. Instead of taking a single step toward their dream, they retreat into the comfort of the familiar. Months, even years, go by. And that dream remains just a thought. Here's the paradox. Fear is mostly an illusion. Our mind is a master storyteller. It paints vivid pictures of worst-case scenarios, even when those scenarios are unlikely to happen. And because these stories feel real, we let them dictate our lives. Every missed opportunity, every postponed dream, every hesitation has fear at its core. But fear can also be a teacher. The moment you confront it, even in small ways, courage begins to grow. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the ability to move forward in spite of it. Every time you take a step toward your goal, despite trembling hands or racing thoughts, your brain rewires itself. Fear becomes less intimidating, and action becomes easier. Practical steps can help. Start small. If public speaking terrifies you, speak in front of a friend or record a short video. If pursuing a passion project scares you, dedicate just 15 minutes a day to it. Momentum is built one small step at a time. Focus on learning rather than outcomes. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Instead of what if I fail? Failure stops being a catastrophe, it becomes feedback. Fear is also a signpost. Often, the things we fear most are exactly what we need to do to grow. The moment you step into that fear, you step into progress, freedom, and your higher potential. Remember, growth never happens in comfort zones. The chains of fear shatter the moment you take the first courageous step. If fear paralyzes, procrastination seduces. It is the quiet thief of time and opportunity. Unlike fear, which grips you with anxiety, procrastination tempts you with comfort. Tomorrow it whispers later, and suddenly days, weeks, and years slip by, leaving nothing but regrets behind. Procrastination is not laziness, it is usually fear, perfectionism, or self-doubt disguised as rational thinking. We delay because we fear failure, fear criticism, or fear that our efforts won't be perfect. The mind convinces us that waiting, preparing, or gathering more information will somehow guarantee success. But waiting guarantees nothing except wasted time. Imagine an aspiring writer. They dream of publishing a book but tell themselves, I'll start next week when I have more inspiration. Weeks turn into months. Their story, which could have inspired thousands, remains trapped in their mind. Procrastination makes us believe that preparation is progress, but true progress comes from consistent action. The antidote is momentum. Break tasks into small, manageable steps. Focus on the next action rather than the entire mountain. Set deadlines, even artificial ones, and hold yourself accountable. Share your goals with someone you trust. Suddenly, procrastination loses its power because external accountability and internal momentum push you forward. Clarity is another key. When your goals are vivid and meaningful, procrastination struggles to take hold. Action becomes inevitable when your why is stronger than your fear or your comfort. Focus on learning instead of outcomes. Each small action builds confidence, and momentum compounds, eventually overpowering the inertia of delay. Procrastination thrives in darkness and indecision. It loses its grip when you shine the light of awareness and take the first step. Remember, the smallest step forward is always greater than standing still. Progress is the sum of consistent, purposeful action day after day, no matter how small. Ego is the silent saboteur of progress. Unlike fear or procrastination, it doesn't always appear as a barrier. In fact, it often masquerades as confidence, pride, or self-respect. But ego convinces us that we already know enough, that we don't need guidance, that we are above learning. And when that happens, growth comes to a standstill. Ego thrives when we resist feedback, dismiss advice, or argue just to be right. It is not always arrogance. Sometimes it is a quiet pride that says, I can do this alone, or I don't need anyone's help. But progress requires humility, the willingness to learn, to be corrected, and to adapt. Ego builds walls, and walls block growth. Comparison is another trap of ego. When we constantly measure ourselves against others, either to feel superior or inferior, we divert energy from our own journey. True progress is never about being better than others. It is about becoming better than your past self. Ego often makes us fear failure because it threatens our self-image. But growth requires vulnerability. Mistakes are not threats. They are teachers. The antidote is humility, self-awareness, and gratitude. Humility allows us to acknowledge what we don't know, seek lessons from every experience, and remain open to growth. Gratitude keeps us grounded, reminding us that progress is rarely a solo effort. Ego blinds us to these truths, while humility opens the door to learning, collaboration, and fulfillment. Ego may disguise itself as confidence, but confidence without humility is arrogant. Real progress is about evolving, learning, and improving, not proving our worth to the world. Every step taken with humility chips away at ego, allowing growth to flow naturally. Negativity is the energy thief that slowly erodes progress. Unlike fear, procrastination, or ego, negativity often originates from the world around us. It creeps in through pessimistic thoughts, discouraging people, or critical environments. It whispers, it won't work, why bother? Or you're not good enough. And if we listen, it quietly drains our energy and motivation. Negativity thrives on problems rather than solutions. When we dwell on challenges instead of possibilities, it becomes a lens through which we view life. Every obstacle seems insurmountable, every failure catastrophic. Negativity also spreads. Time spent with cynics or pessimists makes their mindset contagious. Conversations shift from opportunity to limitation, from action to complaint. The antidote is gratitude, focus, and intentional energy. Gratitude shifts attention from scarcity to abundance, from obstacles to opportunities. Focus on your goals, take responsibility for your energy, and act despite external negativity. Action is the ultimate antidote. Momentum silences pessimism. Every small win compounds, making negativity less convincing and progress more inevitable. Negativity is a choice. You cannot always control external circumstances, but you can control your response. Those who rise above negativity, who focus on solutions and possibility, find that progress becomes not just possible but unstoppable. Complacency is the quiet killer of dreams. It whispers, "You're doing enough," and lulls us into comfort. Unlike fear or procrastination, it does not scream at us. It seduces us with ease, satisfaction, and the illusion of good enough. Over time, complacency becomes a habit that stifles growth and keeps extraordinary potential locked away. Complacency grows when we stop challenging ourselves. Routine becomes safety, comfort becomes addiction, and ambition fades. Small victories are celebrated, but new challenges are ignored. Progress requires discomfort, risk, and constant learning. Complacency tells us this is enough, while growth demands more. The antidote is curiosity, vision, and action. Ask yourself daily, am I growing? Am I learning? Am I stretching myself? Visualize your higher self and take steps, even small ones, toward that vision. Complacency loses its power when we embrace discomfort, push beyond routine, and refuse to settle. Every effort against it compounds into remarkable transformation. Complacency is subtle but deadly. It makes the ordinary feel sufficient and the extraordinary seem unnecessary. Awareness, ambition, and deliberate action are the keys to overcoming it. Growth requires refusing to settle, even when life feels comfortable. As we face these 5 enemies: fear, procrastination, ego, negativity, and complacency, we see that progress is never just external. It is an internal battle fought every day. These enemies may try to hold you back, but awareness is the first step toward freedom. Every time you confront fear, act despite procrastination, set ego aside, rise above negativity, and push beyond complacency, you reclaim your life. Growth is not about luck. It is about choices, habits, and consistent effort. Progress is built one courageous step at a time, one act of learning at a time, and one refusal to settle at a time. Remember, the journey may be challenging, but the person you become along the way is worth every struggle. Your potential is waiting. The doors of opportunity, growth, and fulfillment are open. Will you step forward and claim it?